Okay. Oh, I see her at church every Sunday. Oh, okay. How you gonna meet the same girl if you're traveling your whole career of playing a sport?
Today we're going to be reacting to a video of Shannon Sharpe and LeVar Ball on why he wants his son to avoid women whenever he comes into the NBA. Stay tuned.
It's a new day, man, gotta wake up. Can't stay stuck when you're down on your luck. The game fucked up, but the world don't care. In the lockdown, there's a change in the air. Now they got a mask that they force you to wear. Everybody's scared, but they hoping for prayers. Stuck in the house, hibernating like a bear, stressed out from the kids about to pull out your hair.
Welcome back to the Anthony Spade channel. Before we get started, I want you to watch the entire video. If you like the video, comment, like, subscribe at the end of the video. But first, watch the entire video. Next, I would not be talking about all women. It just feels like it. Okay, today we're going to be talking about and reacting to a video with LeVar Ball and Shannon Sharpe when he discussed the type of women that are going to be coming to the NBA and that his son needs to avoid. Now, what I want a lot of you guys to understand, and I'm going to go ahead and top this. A lot of guys that come in the NBA, NFL become the biggest simps. And I'm going to explain to you why they become the biggest simps. They become the biggest simps because they start their purpose early in life without knowing what their purpose is. In other words, majority of black men have made it their purpose to be a rapper or to be a ball player of some sort, football, basketball. Not many want to be a business owner, and not many want to be doctors. It's either drug dealing, it's either basketball, football, etc. But for the ones that are dedicated to sports and that really want to make it, they don't have time for women when they're in high school because they always have to work, especially if they're good. They constantly have to be out there practicing. They have to be working out, so they don't get to develop street smarts. See, typically those type of guys, as long as they're winning, girls are just going to throw themselves at them. So they're never going to need to learn the different type of mindsets of women that they're coming across. It's typically the guy on the outside who doesn't play sports that's going to have a hard time with women because she's going to have to leverage his weakness in order to get what she wants. But when it comes to the athlete, being that he doesn't learn anything about women, he just focused, when these guys make it at a younger age, it's easier for them to fall for a thotty because all they're looking at is the simple fact that they have a lot of money and that they want a good-looking woman. That's majority of what they're going to be paying attention to, which is why a lot of them are going to end up with strippers and they're going to end up with bad girls. People are like, why do these athletes always end up with these type of women? You have to understand, they are beta male providers because they didn't learn any street smarts because they were focused on their purpose at a younger age. Most men are not going to develop their purpose into their 30s. Why? Because you have to learn yourself. It's the same thing with an athlete. If it ain't meant for them to make it, it ain't going to make it. And then they're going to fall back and get a regular job. But for the ones that do make it, they never have time to learn woman's nature because they're too busy being the best at what they're doing. So understand, it's their fault, but it's not their fault. It's just that they don't, it's kind of like with athletes, it's kind of like, I understand it, and then they get burnt, but then they're too rich to affect them. But understand, they're simps because they pretty much don't even have time to learn women till later in life. But we're going to be reacting to Shannon Sharpe and LeVar Ball. Let's get to it.
You told you boys, you're not going to meet anybody while you're playing in the NBA. You're going to meet the garden tool.
That's what I said. Here's the thing. You got to understand this. When you meet somebody, Shannon, you meet your girl, you in school all the time, you see her every day, you know what she about. Okay, you meet her at the job, she working every day, you say, oh man, I keep running into her at the job. Okay, oh, I see her at church every Sunday. Oh, okay. How you gonna meet the same girl if you're traveling your whole career of playing a sport?
So
you're gonna be traveling. So
the thing is, LeVar, and I said, this is how it was.
What LeVar is trying to say is, the average person, when they start to like a woman, they develop a likeness for the woman because they see her all the time. So what happens is they start to learn more about it, pick up on the personalities, and you get to actually learn more what the woman is doing. It's hard for an athlete to do that because everywhere that they go, there's going to always be a different girl. There's going to always be another girl that's studying the athlete more than what the athlete can study the woman. So he says they're going to walk up to you acting like they don't know you, but they're going to be doing this in restaurants. They're going to be doing this in clubs, but they're going to know who the athlete is before the athlete knows who the woman is. So she already has a step ahead of her manipulation. Let's get back to it.
Because, and I still go through that to this day. Do they really like me for just being Shannon or for what Shannon can provide?
Right. And see, and that's where it's at now. Let's say you go through some things and you meet this pretty girl and she's 30 years old.
Right.
Or she's 29. Why is she this fine and by herself?
I have to agree with him on that. There are going to be a lot of women that are going to get above age and they're going to be lonely. Why? Because they're going to keep holding out thinking that they can get the best deal. But while they're holding out, they're just making sure that they don't get pregnant. They're still going to be practicing hypergamy, jumping from guy to guy to guy, sleeping with different varieties of men. It's just that they're not going to be getting pregnant, but they're still going to be aging and they're still going to be hitting the wall. Sometimes by the time a woman gets to 30 and you don't have kids, it's all mental at that point. That's what the guy is thinking. What is mentally wrong, not necessarily physically.
What about if the situation were reversed? But here's LeVar, yoked all up, green eyes, 6'4", 255, chisel. He's 30. He's single. Why are you single?
I did exactly. That's how it was back in the day. I did all my running around and doing all this stuff, man. And even with Tina, man, and I just found somebody who was perfectly compatible to me, which is outgoing, athletic.
Yeah.
I don't think if I married just a tall blonde, that wasn't gonna work. You have to be a basketball player, because even when I got on the boys, they would score 30 and 40 points and we'd lose by 1 or 2. Tina was like, you can't go. Tina wasn't like, well, your dad's just man and you guys won and this. Tina be like, boy, you should have scored 2 more layups. You would have had 30, then we would have won.
And LeVar Ball is right. Whenever it comes to women, you must find a woman that's going to complete you. You cannot complete the woman. That's what LeVar Ball said. His wife had to conform to him, especially when he had all boys. She had to be tough. When it comes to a man and a woman and actually picking out a woman nowadays, the best thing for you to do is to become a leader and continue to go your own way and allow a woman to walk into your life. The reason why most people nowadays would never be able to find a woman for them is because dating has just become one savage game of who can get over on the other person. You can thank that to the internet, Instagram, and everything else that has your brain wrapped around its finger. This is Anthony Spade. Hopefully you guys were able to get the message in this video. And it's mainly is why athletes are the biggest simps. This is Anthony Spade. Hasta la vista.